back to the Compound Podcast. I am Scott Effross, back again, guest hosting for our friend Ian Happ, who's playing, is it the ninth inning, I think?
Yeah, it's bottom eight. They're down 6-4.
Out in the Western, what?
It sounds like
Mountain Time Zone.
It sounds like we got hacked.
Have a little rhythm, Scotty. Come on, a little
episode
rhythm.
175, presented by Parse Rum.
I'm worried Scott's never talked before. This seems like the first time Scott's ever said word.
It's a late night for me too, you know. Come on. I've been thinking of things to say all day. This is episode 175, presented by Parse Rum. Maybe after the game, if it's early enough, they finish soon, Ian will have nice Parse Rum. I don't have any here, you know. Hint whoever to send me some, but yeah. So that's what we're doing.
It's my favorite when you fill in, Scotty. It really is.
Well, Tom said before the show, it's like a save opportunity. So I've already walked the first two guys to start.
We got two step offs too. So you're out of picks.
Oh, shit. We should start with absolutely the most important news to this podcast. Ian's not here. Sorry, Tom. We're going to talk a little football here. Zach,
Bingo.
What a whirlwind of emotions last night. I said in our group text, the most insane, like, it wasn't the best football game I've ever seen played, for sure, but the most insane as far as like range of emotions. There was 4 like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this moments.
Fallon's Insta story of pictures of Zack was actually hilarious. It was so good.
She's getting great content.
I did not speak for a good hour last night, and it was like
you were slumped. You were slumped. A broken man.
What did I say like all day and all summer leading up to it? I said, I'm terrified. Like and I was joking. I was like, but serious. I was like, it's lining up way too well. Like, you can't just do this in football and expect to win. Like, it's just not how it works out. And like, I was cautious about my words. Like, I hated Hard Knocks. I loved watching it, but like, I hated, you know, like there was one scene where they're like, hey boys, like, we're going to be in every fucking game this year because this is our quarterback. And I'm like, I mean, that's just not going to end well. Like, I just knew it. I knew it.
Did it break your heart to see Garrett Wilson? Did you see what he said today?
Oh my God, dude. Like,
Aaron Rodgers
was like,
said, sorry, kid.
Dude, that's like, I feel bad for Rodgers. Like, it sounded like, I don't know if it was all for the camera, but like, sounded like he completely turned over a new leaf, you know, like he got almost like a second wind at the back end of his career. Like, he was like, bro, I want to play till I'm 45. Like, this is incredible. And then just to see it, you know, the whole pregame, like I had chills watching it. It's just like, boom. I don't even see him complete a pass as a fan. Like, I don't know if he's done or not, but like it happened so quickly. And it was just like, my phone didn't stop blowing. And I was just like, this is absolutely bonkers right now. But
was your brother there?
Yeah, Avery was there. He said, like, we didn't talk too much. His phone died after, but he was saying, like, he's like, bro, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. He's like, this is a once in a lifetime like experience that's happening right now. Like, he said the Rodgers thing was the loudest he's ever heard anything in his life. Like, he takes the American flag out to midfield. They even start on defense. He says it's just absolutely banana lands, and then they get the ball, and 3 plays, he's just completely done.
I have the picture of you in my head of you just leaned back on the couch, just looking broken.
Bro, it was like, I just,
that picture made me sad.
Bro, I just wanted, like, I asked my brothers, it was like, would you rather have gotten a taste of what it was like to have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback as a fan, or would you rather this, where it's just like, there's no other reality. This is what you got. Like, I wanted to see him just march down the field and be jaw to the floor. Like, oh my God, how did he fit that in that window? And I saw him scramble 3 times and then get sacked.
It's almost like if you would have got through that first game, like, would you have felt better? Like, this is all hypothetical now, but like, would you have felt better if you would have got through the first game, even if you would have lost, be like, all right, Rodgers threw some ball. And like, now you're like, okay, like now we're going. But like that first, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I kind of felt the same way with Deshaun on Sunday too. I'm like, this is a wet game. I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. Like, I don't like any. Week 1 is just the and we saw it across the league. I mean, Dobbins again, the tackle for Seattle, like Conklin for the Browns. There's so many season-ending injuries. Week one, that's just like if you get through week one without
that happens every year. Week one, and that's what like you're just expecting like a skill guy, where like it's just like the quarterback ones are weird because they happen, but it's very like sporadically.
It was such a weird tackle too. It was just like such a weird. Like
everything about it was just weird, bro. Everything was weird. And that's what, dude, like, what did I say an hour before the game? They're like, how you feeling? I'm like, dude, I'm terrified. Like, as a fan, like, it's just, you can't get excited. It's football. I mean, you take it week by week, obviously, but like, football in general is such a crapshoot because of how physical it is. You don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea. And that's why, like, obviously, it was sick to watch the pregame stuff, but I was like, bro, it's week one. This is the longest season ever, especially if you have all those hopes and dreams of going deep into a postseason. Like, yeah, build it up, do it. But I was like, I really hope this doesn't come crashing down. And it did.
But like, also, like, you also had an insane finish. Like, that's
what I mean. So again, how many times last year where the Jets were like, oh my God, it's a 1-score game, and then it's just like, didn't score. And so I didn't get like excited until the fourth. I think Allen threw his third pick, and I don't know. And then I was like, I was like, holy shit, if they just manage some points, like this is going to be, they might win. And then he fumbled the next possession. And that's when I was like, I mean, if they lose this game, I'm literally not watching.
Who's your we should wrap this up. We got to get to baseball or else people are going to kill us. But who's your dream signing? What's your dream move at QB? Just ride it out with Wilson?
My dream move would be
Jameis.
No, my dream move is to have Zach Wilson just completely. I mean, again, like it would be so sick if he, the guy like homegrown talent, like completely flips his career around. Aaron Rodgers is there mentoring him. And then like, I mean, again, it's a little bit different. The team in 2009 and 2010 were better with the O-line, but like Mark Sanchez did it back-to-back years, brought them to the AFC Championship game. Like there's been guys who have been facilitated. Brock Purdy. Yeah, that team is obviously loaded, but like doesn't all have to be Tom Brady and, Peyton Manning, but obviously it helps. But I think that like, that would be my dream scenario for him too. Like that would be such a sick, like he knows
come all the way back.
Yeah. Like that shit's crazy, bro. Like there's no way he has any social media. There's no way that he's listening or reading anything because you can't, bro. Like you can see it. It's just like, but again, I will say if Mike White did what he did last night, they would be chanting Mike White's name everywhere. But it's just because like he threw an interception. It was an ugly one and kind of just managed the game the rest of the way. It's just like, you don't know what you're going to get, which is true, but it's warranted.
Tom, close your ears. But if they give him the Trey Turner treatment, he might be nasty,
bro. Like I was joking, but like not joking. That would be insane. But like there's some things on Twitter like I've seen. They're like, bro, this is what we got. Like, let's ride with him. All the reports from camp are saying like he's completely, taking a huge step forward. You never know. And
the rest of the roster is so good.
Yeah, and like my thing is like. You can't, I don't want them to do what they did last year, which again, they had to. Their hands were tied. He was in a bad spot, like where it's just, hey, let's just run I formation and hope that one of our running backs breaks something deep. But I think you have to at least just say, hey, bro, we're going to open the playbook. If you throw some interceptions, you throw some interceptions, but we have to at least give the defense something to respect. You have to just throw the ball.
We let Ian leave for 1 week, and this turns into a football.
I mean, we could go on.
Love it. We could talk about football 5 hours.
Well,
Lions and Brownies won it. All three of our teams 1-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Dakota. That was good.
Tom, you're a Giants guy, right?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Tom, you got to leave.
Yeah, I was like all three of us. I watched the worst game of my life on Sunday.
There's only 31 franchises left in the NFL because Tom's Giants got absolutely deleted off the face of the earth on Sunday.
Can I say one thing though? So
please.
My girlfriend Liz and I, we've been watching Hard Knocks. I've been trying to get her into football. We watched Hard Knocks. She loved it. She decided she was going to be a Jets fan.
Oh, she's
First
done.
ever game she watched was last night.
She's done.
Is she though? That was the most exciting game ever.
How'd you let her choose the Jets?
Well, so the thing is, I'm a Giants fan, and some people were like, "Are you going to step into my life?" Because I was telling people my life, and they're like, "Are you going to step in?" And I was like, "If she wants to be a Jets fan, that's a tough life. I've made that clear to her. But if she wants to go down that path, she's more than welcome to."
Bro, I sound like a crazy fan, but last night, it was just like, no, this isn't real. Like, there's no way. There's going to be a report that says he'll be back in 5 weeks. Like, there's just no way the fucking fourth play or third play on offense.
Well, that's the thing. So I looked at her after the play, and then when they were finally carting him off, and I said, "Well, welcome to being a Jets fan now." Because
Bro, and like
it's
funny, but it's like it's not funny. It's like scary. It's like, what? Did Joe Namath actually sell his soul for a Super Bowl?
Didn't it happen to Testaverde too? Like,
yeah,
in, like,
1999, blew his Achilles out.
That's unbelievable.
Like, what the fuck?
This is okay. I will say that, like, the fact that all three of our teams, probably the three most snake-bitten franchises in all of football, went 3-0 this weekend is impressive. So,
yep.
Cleveland is Cleveland. Elves.
2 rings.
Oh, shut up, Tom. You pointed to these 2 fingers. Where are you wearing your rings? Like, here?
We got 4 of them, so I got to put them all over my fingers.
Oh, save it. All right, go back.
Scott, wasn't that football talk brought to us by somebody?
It was brought to, I didn't see what brand he was wearing, but Garrett Wilson's catch in that game was insane.
Insane.
Fucking stupid. That's when I officially made a noise on the couch. I was like, holy fuck.
But who he probably could have caught it, like, he like tipped it back to himself. He probably could have caught it one-handed if he was wearing Bruce Bolt batting gloves.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Bruce Bolt. If you watch me play, this is written for Ian. If you watch me play, I wear batting gloves with a lightning bolt on them. They're called Bruce Bolts, a family-owned business in Austin, Texas. Actually started by a 16-year-old. That's cool. I didn't know that. Very nice. I think they're the best batting gloves in baseball. I do too. What you may not know is Bruce Bolt also makes performance shorts that are insanely comfortable. They do?
They do. It's your first time listening to our pod? He reads it every week.
I haven't heard this one.
Yeah.
Can I get some shorts? Somebody?
Talk to Ian. Talk to the boss.
Made of super light 4-way stretch material. They're perfect for BP, working out at the gym, wearing them to school, or just hanging out. They're basically like Lululemon or Vuori type. Okay, get behind that. But also made for athletes. Bear, the founder of Bruce Bolt, says it's the short for our sport. They come in 2 different lengths, 5-inch inseam and 7-inch inseam, and the 5-inch inseam has its own built-in boxer brief. A bunch of different colors. Black and gray are my personal favorites. I agree, Ian. Go buy yours at brucebolt.us. That's brucebolt.us, and get the best gear in the game. Bruce Bolt.
Well done, Scotty. Well done.
Thank you.
Scotty.
What do you got next for us?
Well, I just wanted to kind of generally one last thing on football, and it's related to baseball. I promise, Tom. I promise. Tom. This one's just for Tom.
Trust him, Tom. Trust him.
How do I sound, by the way? I got headphones if I need to put those in. My mic's still at home.
Middle of the episode, too late for that. You sound great.
All right. Jimmy Donovan, the great broadcaster for the Cleveland Browns and the radio network. He called the game, but he's been battling leukemia, so he's going to go back into treatments for it. Unbelievable broadcaster. Cleveland sports are spoiled with great radio announcers. Tom Hamilton, Fred McLeod, RIP. But
Scott, have I ever told you my Tom Hamilton story?
Can I hear it after I finish this? Because I'm rolling. I'm rolling.
Keep going, Scotty.
In his place on the Browns radio network will be John Boy media employee Chris Rose, former Cleveland area native as well. So that's kind of cool. Excited to listen to him. He did NFL Network for a long time, I believe. And he's great on his podcast here on this platform. So very cool for Chris. Okay, Tom, please.
I'm kind of rolling right now.
I was.
Let me cook. Let me cook, Tom.
Yellow let him cook.
I'm good.
No, I want to hear it because I love Tom Hamilton. Tom Hamilton, I grew up listening to him. I would love to hear it. I know you were in broadcasting, so please.
when I was working for the Yankees in 19, Tom Hamilton, they switched how the radio stats were for the radio broadcasters in 18. So a lot of them would still request the stats in the old format, which was just like a lot of extra work. And I have to say, a lot of the broadcast crews not particularly thankful that we were doing a lot of extra work for them. Tom Hamilton, I went in to give it to him, and it was a Sunday morning before an afternoon game. And he was he was genuinely probably the nicest person I've ever talked to in my entire life. He was like, "Oh, thank you so much for printing these out. I know there's such a hassle, whatever." And then he was just asking me about my life and found out I was a broadcaster. And then he started asking me like all these questions about my career. And I was like, you're Tom Hamilton. Like, why do you care where I've called games? It was genuinely one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in baseball. So I just wanted to shout out Tom Hamilton because he's obviously a super talented broadcaster, but also a super genuine human being. And that was awesome to meet him.
Honestly, I've watched so much baseball from my couch this summer, just not being able to play it. And you watch these different games. I've watched a lot of Zack's broadcasts and learned their broadcasters, but like Tom Hamilton, I think, was one of the most highly respected broadcasters in baseball and all of sports. And growing up listening to him, I'm not kidding, like falling asleep to him, listening to the games like late at night on like literally like a little clock radio. So yes, great man. But yes, anyways, Chris Rose. How we feeling, guys? You guys are playing. We're playing. We're coming down the stretch. How we feeling? It's September. How are the bodies? Good.
I could be better all around, top to bottom. More so Tom.
Top mental.
Oh yeah, mental, physical, everything, all of it.
But we'll grind through it, right?
Need a new body in general.
That's the best part of the off season. You come, it comes, and you kind of rest for a couple of weeks. Zack. All right, let's keep going. Zack, you played the Reds tonight. Did you talk to Votto?
No, I didn't get on base. No.
Thanks for bringing it up, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Well, I mean, like, did you?
I threw a ball away too. If you want to bring that one up.
Okay. Well, did you see him pregame or anything? Or
no, I didn't.
Okay. Well, are you planning on saying hello? Because you guys did the podcast with him.
I saw him in AAA this year. We talked when he was rehabbing. He remembered. It was pretty cool. It was when he was really going through it during rehab. So, to see him kind of come back, obviously it stinks against us, but he has a bunch of homers for little amount of games played. It's pretty cool because he was grinding. I don't know if he wasn't healthy, but you could just tell it was wearing on him. But yeah, he seems like he's loving that team. He's come out and said a few times, right? Like, this is a really special team. I feel young again, or being this young with these guys is awesome.
It's a fun team. It's a fun team to watch.
Yeah. Where are they at? They're a game back of the wild card right now.
Yeah, you're welcome, Reds.
Are Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo back yet?
Hunter Green just came back, I believe. I think Nick Lodolo might be done for the year.
Scotty.
Yes.
Can we circle back to when you asked how we're doing? We neglected to ask how your rehab is going.
Oh, it's good.
How's the throwing? How's the wing?
Bullpen's wing's good.
Games, lives?
Not games. Lives soon, hopefully. Getting near the end. It's been a grind in of itself. I think today is tomorrow. Tomorrow will be 11 months. So we're getting to the end.
Full go for next spring.
That's the plan.
Locked and loaded.
That's the plan. Finish up here, throw a little bit more, and shut down for a little bit, and then kind of have like a normal-ish off season. I've kind of throughout this process, I've kind of tried to pick as many guys who've been through its like brains to see like how much time they took off initially. And it's kind of an interesting timeline because a lot of guys come back in the middle of a season and have like it generally seems like, I know Chad Green, someone I've talked to a lot because he was down here with the Blue Jays with the Yankees previously. He just came back a couple weeks ago, I think. Cool to see him come back. But I feel like guys generally come back mid-season and kind of have to grind it out and then get like an extended break. So my break will kind of be like when I would be ready to pitch would be the off season. So shut down, kind of have a regular-ish break and be ready for next year. That's the plan.
That is kind of weird that like by the time you're like back, it's like, oh, the season's over. So it's kind of like, how much do you really do? Like once it ends, like you kind of just relax.
And we've had guys down here be in the middle of their rehab and they're building up to go play rehab games. And I'm just like, all right, like my build up is just, make sure we're good. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good.
Scott, can I ask you?
Thanks for asking. Please.
Is it more frustrating or has it been frustrating, I guess, knowing that at the end of this, you don't get to throw? Like a lot of guys, obviously that's at the end of this, you're getting your hope, you'd hope to get back and help your team. Is it frustrating going through the whole process? And at the end, it's like you're just back to resting.
Yeah. I don't know. I've kind of thought about that. I mean, I think at this point, just because of my whole year has been throwing and just kind of doing the same thing, just building up gradually, I'll be ready for a break physically for sure. No doubt. But yeah, I mean, I always want to be out there. And I've been around the team a handful of times this summer and, you get in the clubhouse for a little bit when they come down to the Rays and whenever see them in Miami, like you get in the clubhouse, it's like, oh yeah, like miss it. Like you feel it even more so. So yeah, from that aspect I do, but I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. I guess I'll have to get back to you in, I don't know, a month or so, but yeah, I mean, I think from a physical perspective, I'm ready for a break at the end of this and, kind of once it happened, I kind of completely shifted my gears to like, this is my timeline, kind of take it and focus all your attention on being ready for 24. So
can I ask you one other question? Because I don't think we get to hear about this as much. So you could talk about it as much as you want. Like, I don't know how much of this is like secret, but what's been the process like? I don't think a lot of fans know what your last year has been like. They hear that this guy gets gets TJ and then they know they're gone for a year, but what happens during that year?
It's difficult in a lot of different ways that you wouldn't like really necessarily think of. Definitely the mental aspect has kind of hit me in the last like couple months or so. Once you kind of really hit a wall of like, all right, I've kind of been here for 4 months or so and kind of just gradually building up. But it's really, I think the best way to put it, you kind of like break things up into like digestible moments, like whether it's like building up to 60 feet for throwing or building up to 90 feet, building up the volume. So you kind of just like break into like 2-week chunks where you're focusing not too far ahead, not trying to do day to day to day. You kind of say like, all right, like I'm going to try to, get to this point for today to set me up for next week or whatever. But basically I've been here in Tampa throwing pretty much every day for, I guess, since February when camp started was right when I started my throwing progression. And yeah, you kind of just build up. You go from like 3 days a week to 4 days a week to 5 days a week, move the volume up. I was up to like 70 throws at one point, like in my catch play. Like you definitely like have to get that volume in to make sure your new ligament knows that like, hey, we're going to put some tension on this. Like this is what this is for. So just kind of retraining your arm to do what you've kind of done. And once you get to the point where you're comfortable enough, like start touching the mound with fastballs and kind of progressively working at off speed. I'm kind of right where I'm at right now. It's like getting all my pitches off the mound and everything. Hopefully throw a few lives here soon and shut it down. But it's kind of just like a long progressive buildup of just a lot of throwing and maintaining your recovery in your body throughout that.
When you say the mental side, sorry, go ahead, Zack.
No, I was gonna say those lives are gonna be awesome because you can really treat them. You can treat them as, like, hey, these are my games for this year. Obviously it sucks, but like you've done a really good job mentally, and obviously you've had the days where you've texted me like, fuck, man, I wish I was out there, or, this sucks. But I don't think watching it hasn't really deterred you from anything. And that you have those lives at the end of the year, which is going to be great, for you mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to those. And just to kind of get each step, you kind of get like, once you like check off that box, like I remember like when I went back to 75 feet throwing for the first time, like, this is great. Like I had like a huge like rush of adrenaline just from doing that. So like each time you kind of hit a milestone, it gives you confidence that, it's working. And unfortunately the process is kind of like perfected by PTs around the game and around the sport now, because it's been so common that, the people that help you and our PTs have been great. They've seen it so many times that you just kind of follow the path of here it is, pay attention to how your body feels and kind of just like, it just takes time. And, that's the hardest thing mentally, I think, is just, it takes time and you kind of have to be patient at some points, but you just kind of try to stay as even keel as possible throughout it. And we have a good group down here. We've been, everybody's been super supportive. We've had, a couple of Tom John guys here, a couple other surgery guys here. So it's been a small group, but really good. We all show up to the field every day and, take care of our business and have fun doing it. So,
and the buildup is like a million throws. Like, isn't it more throws than like, I just seen people rehab it, and I was like, the program is like, you make so many throws every day. Like, even if you're going to 75 feet, it's like 50 throws.
Yeah. And I'm like a reliever. So like as a starter, you're even like, if you're building up for like 6-7 innings, like, obviously guys don't do that right out of the chute, but it's a lot. And I think that kind of takes back to Tom's question of like the, ready for a break kind of thing. Like I haven't pitched this summer, but I have been throwing a lot. So, you kind of, it is a toll on your body, especially like a new part of
for sure
your body. So, but yeah, thanks for asking, guys.
We'll get you right back to this Scott Effross led episode of the Compound Podcast. But first, as you might have heard at the top of this episode, football is back. Another week of epic games are coming up, and who's got you covered on action for every single one of them? The DraftKings Sportsbook, that's who. An official sports betting partner of the National Football. New customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Nobody's missing out on the action this season. All DraftKings customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Get in on the NFL action for week 2 with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code COMPOUND to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with code COMPOUND. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort KS. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
I have a question for the group.
Yes.
It came out last week that the Angels said they would be open to trading Mike Trout if he requested it. I am curious, what does that return look like?
I don't know, but I think that's a good play from them to try
100%.
to try to get back some of the shit they missed on with Ohtani, some of the other guys they traded for Giolito and Lopez. I think it's smart. I feel like obviously you kind of have to cut your losses at this point. I mean, I don't know what their system looks like. I don't know anything about them, but obviously it was a miss at the deadline, which is tough because you want to show, I don't blame them one bit.
They went for it,
and it just didn't work out. Like, it is what it is, but now I think you kind of have to start over again, because if you're going to lose Ohtani for free, most likely, and then you're just going to have Trout there again, it's tough. And I don't blame them whatsoever for it.
I feel like they'd get so much back. Like we talked about the Ohtani one when around the deadline, when there was rumors they'd trade him, and he would have obviously drawn more just because he does both. But like, the return for Mike Trout, like the best player in baseball outside of Ohtani, like it has to be the farm system. Like, you give us 2 MLB ready players and 3 young top prospects. Like, it's got to be a ton.
I don't even know what that trade would like.
Like, how do you start that discussion? Like, hey, we want everyone you have.
I don't even know how many years he has left.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he just has forever. He has forever left.
It's like 8 years, I feel like, left, right?
Yeah, because he just signed an extension, didn't he? Like, pretty recently.
So, I mean, it's like, it's almost like if you're a team trying to make that trade, it's like, how do you even start?
He's
You're going to
under
be trading
contract.
guys. If you're trading like a big league ready guy, how many years, Dakota?
He's under contract until 2030, so it'd be 7 years of Mike.
So if
Trout.
you have a big league, just think about this: if you have a big league ready guy that you're trading away, that guy by the time Mike Trout's contract is done will be a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Like
exactly.
that is and that's a long time in a baseball player's career, like getting to ARB and then through ARB and then into free agency. And if you trade a guy that's just like, yeah, here's a 7-year trade partner, basically.
I think they do it. I think the Yanks go and get him. I think they have to. I think.
Would you trade? Would you trade?
They got to.
Martian for it.
Oh,
guy.
Who's the Martian?
Poor guy just had Jason Dominguez.
That's what I'm saying. You trade him.
Oh, he's the Martian.
You give him, next year to rehab, and then you trade him.
But you'd have to give up him and like three other really good players. You know what I mean? Like that's the crazy part.
I don't even know how you would start, because then you have to look so far to the future of what you can and can't do. But like, again, it's Mike Trout. I mean, it's a guy you have a conversation about for sure. So
Trout's starting to give me Ken Griffey Jr. energy, where that the first half of his career is going to be talked about as one of the greatest players of all time. But I'm worried the second half is injury plagued. Obviously, if you get a chance to get a player like Mike Trout, I think you just by definition have to do it. But I'm definitely wary, because the injuries have started to pile up. He's now past 30 years old. He's under contract until he's 38. So it's Trout, you get him, but like there's definitely more concern than there would have been 2 years ago. Let's say
it'd be very Yankees. No offense. It'd be very Yankees to go get him, and then they're back. They're the Yankees, and then he just doesn't pan out. You know what I mean? Like you said, like can't stay healthy. I'm not. It's Mike Trout, like Tom said. It's Mike Trout. Like if you can do it, do it. But it's again
I don't even know what team.
It hopefully works out. Scotty boys with Judgy and Trouty. Managers of a fantasy football team.
Just the gang.
Just the boys hanging out. Scott Effross, Aaron Judge, and Mike Trout. One of these is not like the other. No offense, Scott.
One's a Browns fan.
Bingo.
Yankees famously in that draft thought they were the only team that knew about him. The Angels took him one spot before. They all claimed the Yankees were going to take him at 28.
Really?
Wow, way to cover your tracks, Yankees.
I mean, obviously, much easier to say that in retrospect than at the time. We don't know, but
yeah. At the time, they weren't like, "Oh, we were taking him." Man.
He was like a high school guy from Jersey, though, so I think they thought they had him.
What if he went to Philly and just went up to all the Eagles games? What about him and Bryce together? That'd be kind of sweet.
That's what, dude. I saw potential if he goes there, and it would just be an absolutely loaded lineup.
They support their players there. They don't boo them.
Speaking of Trey Turner earlier, I meant to bring him up. I kind of just looked at his on MLB page, like his last 15 and 30 or whatever. He's hitting like 3.
I got the numbers. I sent it in our group text, and Tom noticeably ignored it.
Okay, go ahead.
It was since August 4th. This was 4 days ago. Since August 4th, he was hitting 376, 13 homers, 34 ribbies, 12-16 OPS, 20-game home hitting streak.
Stupid.
I found one today that is updated because he has 15 homers now, and he's second in baseball to only his teammate Kyle Schwarber in that span.
That's insane.
Surprised?
Ex-college teammate Kyle Schwarber of Scott Effross.
He's hit so many homers this year. Yeah, that team's getting hot again.
Really hot. I feel like if in any sport, if you're gonna do it and go deep in the playoffs, you do what the Phillies are doing. Like you don't go out to a crazy hot start.
Yeah.
And, I think you kind of, weather the storm and then kind of figure it out to the middle towards the end. And then you look up and you're like, holy shit. Like the only reason why this team's not in first is because the Braves are the fucking Monstars.
They literally are. That ball Acuna hit to dead center off of Wainwright.
Stupid,
I actually don't understand the physics behind how so he hit the heater off of him the first pitch. that he just like 2-ironed it to dead center. Crazy. But then the curveball that he hit to center.
And then
I don't understand. How does that below the zone? I don't understand. Wainwright, I think like they had a picture of him. He's like,
oh my God.
Like, what the hell was that?
Bro, their team is hitting 500. They're slugging over 500. Matt Olson just hit his 51st homer this year.
Matt Olson is maybe the best acquisition in a while by a team.
That they've done. I mean, you could go on for a long time about what they've done over the years to just put themselves in position like this a year after year. And this year seems like the best year and they keep just getting better. It's crazy.
I mean, and they're just sitting there with like, you think forward to the playoffs, like you got Spencer Strider and Max Fried as your 1 and 2. Like they're throwing twice in a series. Like good luck. You have to beat one of them to beat them.
I think they get my guy, Jesse Chavez, back soon too in the bullpen after
that team is
shattered his knee.
They're a juggernaut.
We'll get you right back to Compound, but it's time for your favorite chant. Chant it with me at home. Ready? ERC. ERC. Omega Accounting Solutions is an official partner of the Chicago Cubs and a presenting partner of the Compound Podcast for the 2023 season, tapping into the team's strong association with the Midwest small business community. Omega wants to work with the Cubs to help small businesses throughout Chicago and the greater Midwest learn about the Employee Retention Credit. That is the titular ERC that we chant. Omega was recently named the #1 best ERC company for getting your ERC funds by Merchant Maverick, a small business comparison and review site. Don't miss out on your small business tax credit, even if you got the PPP loan. There's still time to find out if you qualify and file your claim. Call 800-643-CUBS or visit smallbusinesscashback.com/Cubs now for a free consultation. Everyone ready? ERC. ERC. Thank you to our friends at Omega Accounting Solutions.
The Yankees played a sweet set of games today. Have to talk a little Yankee ball. 1-2 in a doubleheader.
You can also talk about their game against the Brewers the other day.
Yes, I had that on my list. That was one of the also insane, like most insane game. It was obviously like no hitter throughout 10, but like once the extras hit, it was just back and forth with a crazy collection of plays. That Weimer play was nuts. And then Stanton hits a homer to tie it. Volpe has a hit. And then my guy Higgy with the walk-off. I think it was his first walk-off. Tom, do you have that stat? First career walk-off?
I know it was his first of the season. I didn't see if it was his first career.
Who was it that had the no-hitter for the Brewers too?
Burns.
Kevin Williams and Burns.
And then Williams.
Do you think you like come into there like, guys, come on. Like just one. I need
but it was
one
Garrett.
run.
It was Garrett throwing
Please.
on the other side. So it's like
yeah, true.
It was the best pitcher's duel of the season.
Yeah, that is gross.
I mean,
that is...
yeah, like without a doubt.
You got to come in and be like, guys, like, you see what I'm doing out there?
That was a cool one. That was a really cool one to watch because, it's obviously no fun getting no hit for 10 innings, but then to kind of stay in it twice. I think they came back twice because I think the Brewers scored in the top half in the 11th and the 12th.
Mm-hmm. They did.
And
one in the 11th, two in the 12th.
And they matched in both and then walked it off in the 13th. And that's hard to do. That's really hard to do.
You know who got the win that game?
Misewitz.
Misevich.
Is Misevich?
Anthony Misevich.
Okay, so he pitched tonight again too, and I meant to bring this up, and it's kind of a topic. We won a doubleheader today. It got rained out yesterday, so we played Boston twice. We won a doubleheader today. All the horses kind of threw the first game, Clay and Wandy and Tommy, and then we had three guys that I think it was Anthony's second outing with the Yankees. And then Zack McAllister and Matt Bowman made their Yankee debuts.
Clean innings.
The second game. Got through three scoreless in a one-run ball game in Fenway. And all three of them have had very as a reliever, it was really cool to see because it's not ever an easy journey for a lot of guys when you stay in the game this long. But you kind of look at all their track records. Like Anthony's, I think, been on 3 teams this year. Dakota.
Yeah. He was with Zack for a little bit, with the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like he's been kind of all over the country this entire summer, and to have a moment like that Like he had a huge punch out, like, and I think the bases were loaded, like really, really cool. I was watching it, and, you know, have a moment like that with the Yankees in Fenway, like that, you know, like regardless of the records right now is awesome to see. And then Matt Bowman, his first big league game since 2019. I got to know him a little bit in spring training this year. Really good dude. Had a couple surgeries, been with a couple teams, and got the chance to throw tonight, leverage in the 8th. And then Zack McAllister with the Cleveland teams that I used to watch growing up, comes in, and first outing since 2018, I believe, dropped his arm slot. So I love the sidearm appreciation for sure. So really cool to see the 3 guys kind of string it together, and sweeping a doubleheader in the big leagues is not an easy task.
On the road too.
On the road. Yeah. And that was cool.
In September.
In September. Yeah. So that was cool to see. Those guys are grinding right now, and, you know, back above 500, which is, you know, I know it feels good. So I just wanted to shout them out for sure.
Heck yeah. Tom's pumped. ALS is insane. I saw the Mariners were the hottest team ever, and then they have lost their last 4, and the Rangers have won their next 4, and now the Mariners are like a half game out. Like, just all of a sudden they're out of the wild card.
Like a horse race. It's just like they're like coming down the stretch, and they keep just jockeying for a position. I really don't know. I really do not know who's going to win that. I mean,
I said it like last week or 2 weeks ago. I said one of the Rangers, Blue Jays, or Mariners isn't making the playoffs, which is well, I guess Astros too could. You never know. Like, that's crazy that one of those teams isn't going to go, and any of them you could argue could win the whole thing.
I agree.
The AL East is also just disgusting.
I agree.
The Orioles become the first team ever to beat everybody at least once in a season, because it's the first time that they played everybody.
Team now. Tom hates it.
First time this year.
Yeah,
that's a crazy stat, though.
Yeah.
So they haven't been. Does that mean they haven't been? Well, I guess you can be swept, but if you play the team again,
right?
Wow.
I saw a fun stat from our researcher, Dalton Feely. He's a huge fan of Wade Miley, and Wade pitched against.
So am I.
Had a chance to, I don't know if you knew this, Scotty, had a chance to get a win against all 30 major league teams if he beat the Yankees. And unfortunately for him.
Oh, that was his last one?
Yeah. And I don't know when he's going to play the Yankees again. So that would have been his 30th.
He was when we went to New York last year, he started the first game on Friday night. We played against them when we were with the Cubbies together, and he had to come out for an injury in the 3rd inning. And that game went to 13 as well. That was his last team. Wow. I did not know that. Wade is the ultimate locker room presence for sure.
Yeah, when he rehabbed with us, even in Iowa, he was incredible.
He's the best. He's one of those guys that, like, if you have him on your team, you are a better team because of it.
For sure.
Did the Cubs win?
No, they lost 6-4.
I
got a spider on my blinds right now and on my ceiling, and I'm just eyeing them down, waiting to kill them.
You don't like bugs?
Heck no. Hate them.
Does anybody like bugs?
I just keep staring at this one to make sure it's not moving towards me.
That's a good point, Zach. That's why Dakota doesn't eat. I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school, but it's why Dakota doesn't eat breakfast outside.
Oh, you're insane if you think I'd eat outdoors. Why would I do that? Why would I want bugs around my food?
If you're eating outside, Dakota's like, it has to be in a closed space, and there can't be any like sort of birds or.
You tried to have us sit at a picnic table in the grass and eat breakfast. I could feel the ticks on my legs.
It was the only table at Mullets on a Saturday. Shout out.
It wasn't worth it. I would have rather starved.
Shout out Mullets in Des Moines, Iowa.
I walked home. I didn't eat.
That was great.
I was like, this is insane.
I'm with you. Eating outside, not for me.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I mean, like,
they ask inside or outside at the restaurant. I'm always like inside, never outside.
Oh, they offered. I'm like, are you crazy?
In New York City, like, well, yeah, I want the taxis right by my food. Thanks.
Yeah, perfect.
That's a crazy move. That's a wild move. Like, I get you when you have to do it, like during COVID when everything was outside, but like if you have the option now,
inside always.
Yeah, but sometimes like the patio is nice if you're like at a place that like has
it's
a patio.
Enclosed.
Patio is nice to drink on. I don't want to eat my food on the patio.
I've lost visual on spider number 2. It's behind my blinds now. I'm nervous.
Okay.
Scotty, way to bounce back after that opening reading.
We got one more. You got one more thing to pass.
Yeah, I got one more. Do the screen time. times. Let's see.
Thank God we're not doing Sunday screen time. Mine would be.
I mean, mine's gonna be
I'd
high.
be in.
Mine's
I'd be
gonna
in.
be high because I stayed up till later in the night just to cry over.
I cannot believe how much football I watched on Sunday. Like football was coming out of my eyeballs.
I bought Red Zone for our bus ride home. I was watching it the whole way home.
I love that out of you. Yeah, good thing it wasn't on Sunday because our Sloan screen times would have been very, very high from checking scores and stats and all that fun stuff. Sloan is the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems. The company is at the forefront of the green building movement and provides smart, sustainable, and hygienic restroom solutions by manufacturing water-efficient products, including flushometers, faucets, sink systems, soap dispensers, and fixtures for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets worldwide. To learn more, visit sloan.com. That's sloan.com. Thank you to Sloan for sponsoring the screen time for today. Let's see if I can pull it up. Oh, what a great screen time. No chance this is real. I was 12-4.
What did it say? 3 minutes?
4 minutes.
What was it? 3 minutes? Oh, what a great screen time. I didn't even look at my phone today.
Well, it said, when you swipe over, it says like, it takes a second to load. Like it said 4 hours. It said 4 hours. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. But it was not 4 hours. It's 7 hours and 24 minutes.
Oh my God, Scotty.
I was waiting for you guys. What am I supposed to do?
Mine was 6 hours, 5 minutes. So thank you for saving me last place. Zach won with a disgusting score.
Yeah, 5:18.
My time yesterday. Oh, I will say that a lot of this 7:24 was after midnight last night. Looking at all the
we don't take excuses here, Scott.
Oh, it's not an excuse. I'm just saying it was front loaded from like the Rodgers stuff on Twitter and
Tom
and Zack.
This is the second time I've had a good score for me, and it's been a day I could have won and came up just short. 534.
Hey, you competed.
Well, I lost though, so
yeah, Scott finished last, which is tough to do. I really have that.
I would say me and you have the same like job now because like it just
you edit Blitz.
We have to be on our phones because I would go insane if I wasn't during this rehab. Okay, what was yours, Zach?
5:18.
Oh, okay, that's good. What time's your game tomorrow, pal?
6:40.
Oh, okay. Dakota. Oh, Dakota is for those at home.
It's on the ceiling.
Dakota's got a nice shoe hand going. Oh, we got it.
Where'd it go?
Everything else is going to be dropped. It's just going to be this on YouTube.
You have to watch the YouTube.
I don't know where it went, man. Oh, I see it. No, I don't see it.
Switch over to the YouTube. That's called branding.
Oh, I got it. All right, I killed one. Sorry, keep going. You can close it out. I was just.
No, that's.
Oh, it's moving. It's moving. Die.
Okay. All right. Great job, Zach. Gotta go to bed. Okay, that is
episode 175.
175 of the Compound Podcast, presented by Parsley Rum. Maybe that spider would have liked some Parsley Rum as his last drink, but he didn't get the option. So, thanks for letting me guest host again, and
thank you for coming.
Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome, Zach. Thanks, Tom. Okay, you guys have a good night. Peace.